Kotaku, the gaming journalism site we all love to hate, specializes in antagonizing its core market, gamers, to appease woke skulls and hyper-progressives that live in a bubble where their perception is reality. In 2021, Kotaku hired a bold new editor-in-chief. Patricia came in with a fire lit under her ass to whip Kotaku into shape and give us more of the trash we hate. What a visionary! More opinion pieces from college-educated D-bags who think that they're smarter than the readers and need to educate them on gender and race relations. Do you want to know what the PlayStation 5 can do on launch? No, too bad. Listen to someone's existential crisis. The Orange Man is bad.
The world is still reeling under the weight of the pandemic. There are more Americans out of work right now than any other point in the country's history, with no relief in sight.
Wow, what fun. I came here for Ratchet and Clank. Now I'm not sure if I want to continue living. Let's read what Patricia had to say.
I want to dismantle and redefine what a video game website can be. I do not like what I see. Where to even begin? It does not matter if a website is considered progressive. It says everything that, when writing about certain issues, video game websites often have to take care in explaining basic-ass concepts like racism is real.
Oh boy, want to hear about that new Onimusha game? Too bad racism's real, you bigot. Check your privilege. In one of her first moves, she hired Carolyn Pinette, the disgraced GameSpot journalist who ended up on Feminist Frequency until Anita Sarkeesian left Pinette out to dry when it went bankrupt. This will all be relevant later. Now, I could spotlight every bad Kotaku article and hot take that has been posted in the last year alone. That led many of us to sit here and wonder, how the hell is this site still running? How does this make any money? But none of us have got time for an artistic detail. On August of 2023, Patricia bailed to write a book or something. God knows what the hell it is, and nobody paid any attention because most of us have lives.
Today is my last day at Kotaku. It's wild. I still remember when I first started a decade ago, and I would wake up every morning 6 a.m. to write the daily features of Riddle.
Nobody cares. In her stead, Jen Glennon took over in October of 2023. Reddit echoed sentiments we're all thinking just looking at this photo.
I know nothing about her, but she has crazy eyes. I'm looking forward to doing all the weird and wonderful stuff together. Gives me Baldur's Gate 3 wine aunt vibes. Whoever is appointed to run Kotaku is almost guaranteed to be a cringe-drinking activist. She has the look I imagine my killer has right before he or she stabs me. Jokes aside, I did not read her previous work, and since I avoid Kotaku, it'll stay that way.
Well, recently, Jen just quit Kotaku.
Some personal news. I resigned from Kotaku and Jim Spanfeller's a herb.
I already know what you're thinking.
Wow, what a waste. The poor children.
Jen, who took over as editor-in-chief in October, resigns Thursday in a resignation letter seen by Aftermath. Glennon says that she made this choice due to the management team's recent decision to deprioritize news in favor of guides. After careful consideration, I have concluded that the current management structure and the decision-making process of the GO Media are not aligned with my values and goals for Kotaku. This decision is directly contradicted by months of traffic data that shows astounding disregard for the livelihoods of the remaining writers and editors who work here.
Basically, Daddy Jim said to the Kotaku staff, okay, no more opinion pieces on how gamers are bigots, or how problematic Stellar Blade's female character choice is. We want 50 game guides a week, so get to writing games. Chop, chop, or Skynet will replace you. And then Jen was like, you can't fire me because I quit. And then she grabbed her box of wine and immediately stormed out of the office. I guess she couldn't handle the very thought of Kotaku shifting from trash takes from activists posing as games journalists that no one cares about, to the site shifting to game guides maybe a few normies might care to read. Venture capital's gone, baby. It's back to money. No more virtue signaling. Frankly, Kotaku's burning and they have no goodwill with 90% of the gaming community. So as Kotaku falls, it's met with cheers from the people they once called chuds. Now, Patricia weighed in.
Once an editor told me that Jim explained to them that his strategy was to apply pressure and see what happened. He is likely aware that it's unattainable, but wants people to worry so much about their job that they'll do the impossible to keep it.
She's replying to Tina Snow Allegory. I think that's, I don't know. I don't know what this chick's name is, and I don't care. She blocked me because I memed on something of hers, I think. And it was a real pain in the ass to get these tweets because I just realized I'm blocked by a lot of Kotaku staff. and I've never spoken to these people personally.
According to sources close to the situation, Kotaku staff will be expected to create 50 guides a week on the site. Currently, Kotaku's homepage features prominent games, tips, and guides module at the top of the page in a space that was previously reserved for major stories and breaking news.
That's right, they changed the website. Guess what? The breaking news about Sweet Baby and Carbutus Rambo is gone. I guess you gotta look for it. Of course, the editor-in-chief bailing, a few journalists stood up to sit back down. Carolyn Panett.
Extremely proud of Jen for taking this ethical stance in response to profoundly misguided anti-journalism edicts from GO Media Management.
Panett is gonna step too far online with Daddy Jim because this person is one step away from bagging at Kroger's again. Now get to cranking out some guides for Dragon Dogma 2. Slave, chop chop. Oh, Melissa Merricat Merchant, who cares? She blocked me. Guess she didn't like my video.
An absolute legend who refused to compromise her integrity and that of the site.
Rest in power, bitch. That's pretty much the energy this is giving me. I'm gonna keep my job with the capitalist pigs and try to keep tabs on them. But you do you, girl. I support you. Yeah, go watch your buddy twist in the wind from the sidelines. The mark of a true ride or die. Kotaku has integrity quotation marks. Sure, if you're zonked out of your mind and leaning so far left you don't know how to define what a woman is, then yeah, Kotaku's got integrity. But for the rest of us that are in Normalville, we call reality, it's an absolute meme and a fossil of a soon-to-be bygone era, with an E, of gaming journalism that has no one to blame but themselves. The biased coverage of Sweet Baby alone tells anyone not huffing woke copium all that they need to know about you and Kotaku.
The fact that leadership wanted to aggressively pivot what Kotaku does in midst of harassment campaign levied against me and the site for an original piece of reporting that was second most read story for over a week is telling, mama.
She's literally pretending like she didn't go out of her way to be absolutely repugnant, like a small child, high on pixie sticks. You couldn't have been more of a target unless you drew one on yourself and ran across a range. Oh, it drove industry-wide conversation and is still driving it, question mark. But what about how to get coins in Super Mario 64? Yeah, get to telling me how to get my coins in the star, girl.
Alyssa, how do I jump? I don't know. I'm gonna jump out the window, though.
Do a flip!
The jokes Daddy could make, but he won't do it. She's basically pretending she broke the Watergate of video games.
You know what the Here's a small cup of tea. Management doesn't even care about the quality of the guides. They want us to aggregate them from other sites like a literal content mill. That they're destroying people's livelihoods gags me, and not in the good way. So Aftermath is the only outlet doing decent game news now? No, Kotaku still does.
In an alternate universe where Superman exists.
Up until they literally can't anymore, and that hasn't happened yet. Polygon, IGN, game industry, so many places still do their best, which is still damn good.
Ash is another one of those journalists you just look at and laugh. You can't respect these people. Aftermath and Kotaku, decent gaming news. I rolled my eyes so hard I felt like King Cobra. Nathan Grayson is the co-founder of Aftermath, which is the site that broke this story today. Grayson posted on his Twitter, patting himself on the back for something we all knew was coming.
Published his piece last week about why gaming journalists opt to switch careers, and boy oh boy did this part prove prescient. Especially in the past handful of years, the landscape of gaming journalism has shifted dramatically, focusing on guides and other forms of service journalism, while in-depth reporting and criticism gets sacrificed at the altar of daily grind. It's a logical endpoint of a failing ad market, relentlessly penny pinching, and corporate hyper-cautiousness. If you're a writer or reporter who wants to probe deeper, it's difficult to find the motivation to stick around when the job is no longer what you signed up for. And that's when you can even find a job at all. When the GO Media head Spanfeller and all them, it became very clear that the quality of your work didn't really matter. It just didn't, said Jay. It's that very old school model of finding ways to saturate ads on the page and then populating your site with as much content as possible.
I would say that these gaming sites spent years trashing the fan base and building not goodwill but discontent, bombarding us with the gender politics, critical race theory, and every other form of unnecessary trash when I'm just here for some escapism in video games. What did you think would happen in 2022? It was the year that Kotaku and many other sites should have shifted focus to building bridges with gamers and not burning them. If not for sites like Kotaku, I would have never shifted my focus from game mod reviews. It was because there is a clear bias and disdain for the fan base that I changed my channel from gaming to dunking on pompous boners with 100K plus jobs, telling me that I was a bigot because I saw no issue in how female armor looked in a video game. Ooh, the male gaze. As it stands now, Kotaku has 7 writers left to do 200 SEO fluff game guides a month. It's over, baby.